Hope your hump day went well. Welcome to Cooped Up Live, should I say, just a daily broadcast, daily-ish broadcast, when I talk about whatever the hell I want to talk about. While we are waiting on folks to join, coopedup.com is my website. You can visit that at any time. I'm Cooped Up as my handle on all the social places. Would love a follow, particularly if you're on the Instagrams. And wherever you watch or listen to this, it is airs live on Facebook Live, both on my personal feed and on my Cooped Up page, which you need to go follow right now. And also on YouTube Live, as well as rebroadcast in audio format on all of the major podcasting platforms. And I encourage you to comment if you are watching the live broadcast. There is a 20-second delay, so if I don't know what you're talking about, I may have to ask you to explain it some more. Hey, Mama, how you doing today? How you doing? So today was an interesting day, a day of firsts for Mr. Cooper Koch. I had an MRI done today, and that is, I actually thought I was getting a CAT scan. It turns out it was an MRI. Not that I even knew the difference between those two things, but I now do. But I got an MRI today. Nothing is wrong with me that I know of yet. It was just an exploratory, because Daddy's getting older. His daddy just died. I got enough money to pay for it, all of that. So I am not sick that I know of. I do not have a disorder that I know of. Just want to put that big disclaimer on everything, because I already have had a few people like, "Are you okay? I hope everything's fine." Yes, I am. To my knowledge, let's just preface everything with that. To my knowledge, I am okay. TBD in 2 weeks when I get the results. So I went to a place called Prenuvo, is what it's called, Prenuvo. And it is, it's not covered by insurance or anything like that. And it is like, you get the MRI just to check things out. You know what? I think I had something scanned at the Cooper Clinic from my shoulder blades to my hips. So, but I think it was just a CAT scan or something, or maybe it was a little mini MRI. I'm not sure. But either way, this is the first time I've ever gone headfirst into a tube. Let me put it that way. And I don't think my experience today was very similar to the experiences I've heard from other people. Because I've been telling people, because I've had this scheduled for a couple of weeks now, and I've been telling people that I'm doing it. And a lot of people are like, "Oh my God, it was terrible," or "Oh my God, I was so claustrophobic," or "Oh my God, I couldn't get out of there fast enough." I was totally fine. I think this Prenuvo place makes it like a spa experience. So you walk in. So it was in a brand new medical facility out in Las Colinas. It was in Methodist Hospital's like medical building out there, or is it UT Southwestern? I can't remember. They're not affiliated with either. They just rent space from it. So it was there. And walk in, and it was like checking into like hiatus spa or something like that. They get y'all checked in. You've done all the pre-paperwork before. You give them your doctor's name before, all that stuff. So you just kind of show up. At this point, though, I am starving, because I had to fast for 4 hours before, because they don't want you. There's a couple things. They don't want any like food in your system blocking like their visibility to things. And also they don't want you having to pee or poop while you're in the tube for an hour. I think that's actually the more important one. But at this point I'm starving already. I had to start fasting at 9 a.m. At 8:59, I was putting the last bite of an Otto bean and cheese with an avocado breakfast taco in my mouth from Taco Deli. The best breakfast taco ever. It has no egg in it randomly. It's refried beans, bacon, avocado, cheese, and a super fresh flour tortilla. Is so good. But at 8:59, that was putting that in my mouth to hopefully tide me over. It didn't fully tide me over. But so you walk in, and then they greet you, and then and we've already prepaid for everything. It was like $2,500. I had a promo code for $300 off, so it's $2,200 for me. And go in, and they take you to a dressing room, and it's this private little room that's got like this keypad on it that you program they program like your key access to, and some really nice scrubs in there, which that was also a first for me. I've never worn scrubs in my life. Jury's still out on that. They were comfy, but I have pajamas that are way comfier. but I guess you can't wear pajamas in public. So you just change out of those. I kept my underwear and my socks on. That was it. And then put all their stuff on. Stored everything away, plugged my phone in because they had a phone charger thing in there. And then you just wait for them to come get you. And then they take you in. And everything is like muted tones, artwork on the walls, little waiting areas, all that kind of stuff. Did not feel medical in the least, which I guess is it. Supposedly it helps with your anxiety and all of that kind of stuff too. Go into the room where the MRI machine is. It's got like hardwood floors, again, like grass cloth walls, all that kind of stuff. And a big TV at the back of the room, which I didn't notice that it was reversed until afterwards, and I'll get to that in a moment. But you get it, they're like, okay, have you done this before? No. They kind of get you into it. You lay down. I had my arms strapped, not really strapped to my side. I laid my arms down, and then they pulled these straps around me. And he said it's not to really immobilize you, it's to make your arms more comfortable, which I agree. I didn't have to worry about like keeping my arms tight. It just kind of, and then there's like weighted blanket on me. It just felt so cozy. It felt like a cocoon that I was in. And then he asked me like what I wanted to watch, and I said, and he's like, I got Netflix, I got music, I got all kinds of stuff. And I was like, what's on Netflix? Like a comedy. And so we put it on. What was it? It's this new movie. I've already seen it before. Jonah Hill, Julia Louis-Dreyfus. It got all the stars in it. It's basically about racism. But it's funny. You People, I think is what it is called. So he's like, okay, you want to watch You People? I was like, sounds great. Lays me down or I'm already laying down on the table. He puts this thing over my head. He says, close your eyes. I'm going to put this thing over your head. So close my eyes, puts this thing and open it. And I am seeing that TV at the back. It's basically like a tilted mirror like this over your eyes. And so I could see the TV, the big, huge TV at the back of the room. And he puts headphones on me, like these big old, like goggly looking headphones. And I can hear him talking through them. I can hear the show through them. The show obviously had subtitles on it because it is loud in that machine, even with the headphones on. And then he gave me a little like hand pump thing that if I squeeze it, it shuts the machine down and kind of ejects me or whatever. I don't know. I didn't need that. I am also not particularly claustrophobic, but I was still a little nervous about being that close to the thing. But I'll tell you what, once you get in there and with that mirror thing, so those of you who have had MRIs before, is that mirror thing normal where you can like watch a movie or listen to music or whatever? Because that made it where I felt like I couldn't even notice that the thing was like inches from my face. I had to actually actively look. Like I had to look past the, like on the sides, past the mirror to see even that the curvature was right there in front of my face. It didn't feel bad at all. And the TV didn't feel like it was in my face either. It felt like it was like watching it from the sofa, like kind of across the room. So it was wonderful. It was subtitled. Movie came on. They put you in this thing and you hear the conk, 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 baka, baka, all kinds of different noises, which didn't really bother me. Carrie was telling me that they kind of bothered her. They were so loud. She is kind of claustrophobic also. But so you get in this thing and they're doing it. And the only like difficult part for me, and Monica's saying that is not normal when she did it. Okay, that's what I'm saying. I think this is like a super high-end spa-like experience. And I didn't get paid for this. The promo code was not even from them directly. I got it from a friend who had done a news story about them. So it was like they didn't even know who I was walking in. So don't think that like this is not an ad. I'm just telling you about what I did. And went in and takes about an hour. And so the first part, they just they're scanning different things and all that. And then there's 3 sessions where you have to hold your breath. And it was, that was the most difficult part for me because it was a little nerve wracking because he's like, you're holding your breath, not because of anything to do with your lungs necessarily or your breath, but it is to immobilize your body basically. So, and they may have been like scanning my lungs at that time too. But it's like the machine says in this very lovely woman's voice, breathe out or breathe in, breathe out and hold. And then you hear all around you. And most of them were only like 5 to 10 seconds. There was a couple of them in the cycle that we had that was like 20 seconds. And, if you would have asked me, Cooper, can you hold your breath for 20 seconds? I'd be like, no problem. That shouldn't be a problem at all. But I guess when you're strapped to a table with this heavy weighted blanket on you, having magnetic waves shot at your body, and you're kind of nervous at the same time, 18 to 20 seconds actually feels a lot harder than it was. There was one time where I was just like, am I going to make this? Is this going to happen? Am I going to fuck this up? And so when they didn't do them all at once, so they did like 5 hold your breaths, and then they went on and did some other stuff, and then came back, and the guy was talking to me I could hear him over the headphones, just checking in on me, all that kind of stuff. And then he's like, okay, we're going to go back to some hold breath scans, is what he called them, hold breath scans. And then did them again. And in each of the 3 sets, there was one really long one. And so on each of those, I was like, yeah. So a lot of y'all are saying that. So Lauren has had a couple of MRIs. I've only been able to listen to music, no music or Netflix. And Kathy Rowe has had several at UT Southwestern, and they have a choice of music but no video. I think that makes a huge difference because your eyes are open and you're seeing, like, it looked like depth of, like, I was looking across the room because of the way the mirror was and where the TV was, and I could read the subtitles of it and all of that. So that may make the difference for people who have anxiety about that such. And Beth couldn't do it, so she had to get sedated. But this was a very relaxing environment. So relaxing, by the way. Good seg. Thank you, Beth. That after the last, he was like, okay, that was the last of the hold breath. So just relax, just hang out. And we got about 20 minutes left. Well, next thing I know, he's pulling me out of it. I fell asleep. I just straight up fell asleep in this thing. And hopefully, I'm assuming I didn't twitch. He said all the scans came out fine. I was wondering, though, I was like, maybe he was talking to me and I was unresponsive. I bet they have like a little camera where they can see like if your eyes are closed or not. Because, and probably, I bet that weighted blanket has some sort of monitors in it as well. Because it felt like it was attached to things also. So they could tell if I was breathing or not, maybe. Or if I had like rapid heart rate or something like that, because I just straight up fell asleep. And I was telling Carrie about that on the way back, and she's like, "You fell asleep? How did you fall asleep with all that noise, the cacophony of all the different noises?" And most of the noises weren't bothersome to me. There was a couple of them where I was like, "Okay, that's a weird noise." But for the most part, it's fine. It's that slight vibration of it, like that you're in a machine or whatever, that knocks me out every time. I could not tell you the last time I was awake when a plane took off. Plane that I was in took off. Like I just get on a plane and I sit down, and that slight rumble of the plane, and I'm like passing out instantly. And our RV too. I'm in the passenger seat of the RV, and I'm supposed to be navigator. And it actually drives me insane when I'm driving and everyone in the car falls asleep. Drives me insane. But I do it myself. I literally just knocked out. And so I think that's what happened here. Plus, it was warm and cozy. Like, it wasn't hot. There was air. They were blowing air through it. Also, I could feel this warm air, but not hot air. Like, it didn't feel like I was like, oh my God, I'm going to die. It just felt very warm and comfy. So I felt very cozy in this thing. I mean, I'm glad I did it, and I'm glad I'm not in it anymore, but I didn't have a problem really being in it. The weirdest thing to me, though, was being able to feel the parts of your body where they are scanning. And I don't know if I made this up or not. I'm pretty sure I didn't, because they scanned my brain. They scanned everything in me, all of my organs. They scanned like down to my ankles, like all my entire body, whole body scan is what they did. And there were times where I could like feel my forehead just kind of feeling like it was being vibrated, like something like tapped on, like kind of like that, right? Or one time I felt it like right here, like I kind of felt like it was being tapped on. And the fascinating thing to me is I wonder, like I was starting to think, I was like, why are all the different sounds? Like why? So, because you can hear the things on the inside of that tube. You can hear them like resetting in between tests. Like, why do they make different noises? Are the noises like are those the actual noises of like the magnetic waves? Because there's no radiation in an MRI. It's magnetic something, I believe, right? They told me there was no radiation. The guy was in the room with me the whole time. There's no radiation. It's magnetic waves, is what he said. But or I think he was in the room with me the whole time. He looked like he was. But uh, uh, like why is the different magnetic waves, like the strength or whatever they're doing, does that make a different sound, or is it for the tech to know that, okay, we're doing this test now versus this kind of test? Like I'm really I'm gonna Google that in a moment. I just I got done, got out. I had the worst lunch ever. They had like a little snack bar with Slim Jims and almonds and potato chips and all that kind of stuff. I grabbed, yes, 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 yes. I'll have all of them. Eating a Slim Jim in the car on the way to pick up the kids. Just barely made it to get the kids. Grabbed a Dr. Pepper also, because I had, again, not eaten since like 8:59 in the morning. And I was parched too, because they had warned you, like, don't drink, like you can sip on water, but don't drink a whole bunch of water, because they don't want you needing to pee while you're in the thing. So anyway, but that was my experience. Just a warm, cozy cocoon of an MRI. Results come in 2 weeks. My sister was asking me, Monica, who's on here, was like, are you nervous about the results? Do you get nervous? Because that's what she says she gets. She didn't get nervous about the testing so much. It's the kind of waiting on the results part. And I'm not really. I'm very much it's ironic. I've said this before. The Serenity Prayer is like my life's mantra about, and I never get it right, but basically it's control the things you can, let go of the things you can't, and know the difference between the two, right? I'm terribly paraphrasing it here, which is, by the way, I think it's like the slogan of Alcoholics Anonymous also. So it's ironic that that's kind of my thing. So I'm like, you know what? I'm not nervous. I'm glad I did it. It will be much better. Whatever they find, that was going to be found out at some point anyway in my life. I'd rather it happen now. So all of that kind of stuff. So they said it's taken about 2 weeks, and then they make an appointment a few days later for me to come in, and then it's either a nurse practitioner or a physician's assistant or something goes over the results with me. They also get sent to my primary care physician, and then you just go from there. Hoping it's a complete non-event. They do try to. I will say that because it is a for-profit, there was little things you notice that you're like, okay, you're trying to get a little bit more of my money right now. So the full body scan is the full enchilada. There's nothing more you can do than that. Like they have individual like brain only scans or significant organs only scans. Full body scan was the whole enchilada, and that's what I did. But they were like, okay, and then we'll send you a reminder, a calendar appointment for a year from now, so that you can come back for your 1-year follow-up scan, which is not included, by the way. It's just they're trying to get you on getting an MRI every year, which Cooper Clinic, when Todd does that every year, and I did it once, they do scan your organs each time you go in there too. They also do stress tests and all that kind of stuff. But it depends on what's found out and all of that. But I was kind of using this as let's just check under the hood, make sure that everything's okay in there, make sure I have a brain still, all that kind of stuff. Because as I was mentioning yesterday, brain stuff freaks me out. My best friend, Brian, died of brain cancer about 10 years ago, glioblastoma. He had a tumor like right behind his ear. And so just the not knowing part of that, aneurysms freak the shit out of me. Although women, like, I think I saw somewhere that women are like 3 times as likely as men to have aneurysms. I mean, biologically, I'm a man, so maybe that favors me. Maybe little sissy boys, though. Do we split the difference? I don't know. So, but yeah, so I'll keep you posted on how the results turn out. Hopefully, it is a non-event. That is my hope. I have nothing that runs in my family. Arthritis, like this, these crooked ass fingers are like the only thing that I know of that really run in my family, and heart disease. But I've already had my heart checked, and they're like, calcification is not what's going to kill you. And it wasn't said in the way of, but these things are going to get you first. It was, no, your heart's fine. Like, you're going to be okay. And I'm walking now, and I've lost weight and all that kind of stuff. So I think that that's okay. Cancers, I don't know anyone. Monica, mom, well, my mother is most likely a product of an affair, so we don't know her whole family lineage. But anyway, and that's no great secret. We've talked about that before publicly, and all of the involved parties have passed away. So, but so like cancer, I can't think of anyone in our family who has had maybe like a random occurrence of breast cancer here and there. But also the other thing is everyone in my family dies young. That sounds totally morbid. My dad was 68 when he died. And so, but my mom is now 69 and she's still going strong. Aaron is asking, didn't Oprah do a similar scan on her old show? I don't recall that, but that is completely possible. So, and the next thing I have to do, if we're talking about medical scans, we'll see what the results of this come back from, but I also still need to get my very first colonoscopy done. Yes, I am going to be 49 in December, 50 next month, and I have not had a colonoscopy yet. And before you chastise me, I have a perfectly good excuse. I know the recommended date is 45. Well, when I was 45, the recommended date was 50. And then they changed it at some point. I think during COVID is when they lowered it. And like hell, during COVID, was I going to go in and get a whatchamajigger, a colonoscopy. So that's on the list now too. I need to do that still. Anyway, but so far I would highly recommend it if you just need peace of mind and all of that. And that is the place to do it. Mom's mom passed away from metastatic melanoma. She had a sore on her shoulder. That is right. That wouldn't heal. Cancer went to her brain. Yes, and that was caused by sun exposure, though, right? She was like porcelain white, lived at the beach, all that kind of stuff. That is my understanding of that melanoma part of it. So, no like naturally occurring disease, cancers, I believe, like run in our family. They're all causation stuff. Here's what I'm actually bracing for. It didn't come up last time when I had my organ scan, but here's what I'm bracing for. I am bracing for some sort of commentary on the state of my liver. That is what I am like, okay. It was fine last time. I drink so much water, though, also, that I think my liver and kidneys are okay. I eat really well for the most part. I don't eat a lot of fatty stuff. So I'm hoping that the daily sucker punch that I give to my liver after the 5 o'clock hour is probably not going to be too bad. So, oh yes, and the red hair dye that my grandmother wore that was since taken off the market for carcinogens. So, but like I said, I'll keep you posted on all of that. Totally different subject. Like, could not get further away from the same subject. Is they released a new trailer yesterday. I believe it was yesterday, or maybe the day before yesterday. I saw it yesterday for the Barbie movie that is coming out. And can I tell you that I am unexplicably and unexpectedly, maybe not inexplicably, but unexpectedly excited about this movie coming out. Normally, I see a movie that has all of the stars in it, and I'm like, that movie must have been more fun to make than it is to watch. But this one, I love Margot Robbie. I think she is hilarious. I love all the cast. Dua Lipa is having her first acting thing in it. And to this point, we have seen no like storyline whatsoever. We've seen nothing. They've had like one little teaser where she's just like shows up in Barbie, and they show a couple of clips of like fabulous 1980s and 90s stuff. This one has a little bit more in depth. If I were guessing what it's going to be about, because she's like in the car driving and she passes this sign that says "Real World That Way." My guess, and it appears that she has a wreck or something. My guess is that she and Ken are going to end up in the real world by some magical occurrence. They're going to end up in the real world, and it's going to be one of those duck out of water things, and like Elf, or what other movies are like that, just where she's like this hunky dory, like, and everyone makes fun of her, but then she ends up winning over the cold dark hearts of the world, and makes things all better, and then she goes back or something like that. So but it looks really cute. It looks really well done. It looks expensive. It is I think it's going to be it's either going to be like a really, really fun, silly, good movie, or it's going to just be a total train wreck. And I'm hoping, both are fine with me. If you're going to be a stupid movie, at least just go all the way stupid. But I would rather it be like a fun movie that I think so. Aaron, going back to the results, I'm afraid they would diagnose me as a fermented box of wine with Chardonnay flowing through my veins. Same, 100%, same. And they're gonna be like, we can looking at these results, we can tell that the average price per gallon of the wine you drink is $2, something like that. Yes. The Barbie movie is coming out in July. And I think there is what is the website? There's a website you can go to called something like Barbie Movie AI. Let me find it. I went to it today. Cancel. How do I get to that? Where is it? Barbie. It's BarbieSelfie.ai. So BarbieSelfie.ai. And basically you can upload a photo, and it puts some sort of like the Barbie thing across the front of you. And it has like a little, almost like a fortune. Like mine said, this Ken is limited edition or something like that. And then it's good for social. It's fun. It's silly. And it's AI, which, I'm now fascinated with AI. So, alrighty. I don't have anything else to talk about. I mean, I spent 25 minutes talking about an MRI. Half of the time it took to take the damn thing. But if you want to look up what I did, Pre-Nuvo is the name of the service, which, by the way, once I signed up for it, I started getting a gazillion ads for like all these other scanning things, and because there's multiple providers of such things, and this is just the one that I saw a report on and all of that kind of stuff. But then you also then start getting all the ads for, do you want to check your testosterone level? I'm like, girl, we already know I got none. Or do you want to test your blood chemistry? Or do you want to test this, that, and the other? All these this at home. So they're like, oh, bitch has got money and is worried about his health. Let's target him. Yeah. So, but I'm done for now. On all of that. I'm sure my doctor is going to get these results, and he's going to be like, Cooper, what'd you do? Why'd you do that? So, hey, Crystal Howard. Long time no see. Crystal Howard's one of our OG viewers from like 3 years ago. Glad to see you. Aaron saying, I'm going to consider your results as mine, and I'll take some precaution. You're like, yeah, just white out the name at the top, put your name that we have very similar behaviors, similar backgrounds. We look kind of the same, all of that. Basic white gay bitch. Yes. Okay. Just carbon. I'll make photocopies and just pass them out. Do you have a drinking problem? Yes. Okay. Here's your results. Yeah. I'm pretty good. My body, I'm going to say, is pretty sturdy. Like every time I get like blood tests and stuff done, the doctor's like, surprisingly, you're in remarkably good shape. And I'm like, how's that possible? My blood pressure, though, I did have to get that under control. And ever since then, I barely take Advil anymore. Ever since losing 35 pounds, had to get that in there. Losing 35 pounds, walking more, and getting my blood pressure under control, I rarely get headaches anymore, which is wonderful, which also tells you probably the silent killer was inside me. Hypertension. So, alrighty, well, with that, I'm going to say, after this very special medical episode of Cooped Up Live, I'm going to say goodbye. I love you. It's important to know you are loved. I love that you watched this. Thank you so much. Tomorrow is Thursday, which is the end of the week for most people, including me. Kids actually don't have school tomorrow, but I have a big new business meeting in the morning that I have to get ready for tonight. So, what was I saying? So, I love you. It's important to know you are loved. I love that you watched this. Thank you so much. It's always good to externally process my feelings. And don't should yourself to death. No good comes from should. And I will see you tomorrow at 4:30 for another episode of Cooped Up Live. Should I say, talk to you later. Bye.